I might add that tonight, although it wasn't perhaps quite as gripping as the Cologne-Zito matchup last night because neither pitcher went quite that deep in the ballgame, the Blanton-Lackey matchup tonight was a pretty good second to it. Blanton was superb after escaping a really threatening jam in the first inning that could have sent the evening reeling out of control. Lackey, meantime, although he had lapses at times, was still able to make important pitches when they counted. And both pitchers used a variety of their repertoire tonight with great effect. Blanton's curveball was particularly devastating. And as I mentioned, he achieved the career high of 10 strikeouts. The previous high had been 7 on 2 occasions this year. That first inning was one, though, that he showed the sort of moxie that for a guy in only his 4th professional season is certainly pretty rare, especially at the major league level. In that first inning, a walk to Cabrera, the only walk of the night by Blanton, started things with 1 out. Garrett Anderson singled Cabrera to second base, and Vlad Guerrero blooped in a single that loaded the bases, and big trouble was afoot. Garen Erstad up next, but one of the early, very good curveballs by Blanton had Erstad swinging for strike 3, and it fell to Benji Molina to see if the Angels could break what had been an increasing scoring drought and a stretch of 5 games in which they have scored only 15 runs. No balls and a strike. And the pitch. Swing and a tap. Up the middle. Behind second. Taken by Ellis. Long throw. Got him at first base. And only Benji Molina would have been out on that play. A slow roller past the mound. And Ellis directly behind second base. Molina out at first, leaving the bases loaded. Big escape in the first inning for Blanton. Nothing after 1. Lackey in the 3rd inning had a little loss of command. He had walked a man in the 2nd, but then in the 3rd he gave up a hit off his own shoe by Scudero and 2 walks. But in between the Scudero single and the first walk, which went to Ellis, Kendall's double play ball broke the back of the inning. Chavez followed Ellis' walk with a base on balls, and the A's may have had a chance right there from all appearances. Dan Johnson against that overshift that puts the second baseman in short right field hit a ball pretty hard into short right on the ground. Adam Kennedy made the play and in a semi-sitting position threw out Johnson, and the A's failed to convert on that threat. Then in the 4th inning, the Angels finally broke through. It was Guerrero with a solid single up the middle. He'd come into the game 0 for his last 12. Garen Erstad then went up looking in the right place on the first pitch.
And Guerrero running on a drive to right center field. Up the alley, nobody's going to get that. Guerrero turning at second. He's rounding third. He's going to score easily. Erstad pulls up at second with a double, and the Angels have taken a 1-0 lead. So Guerrero running on the pitch, and Erstad smokes a 2-base hit, bouncing up against the wall in right center. Got a pitch that was up. Fastball belt high right out over the plate.
Molina's fly ball to right field allowed Erstad to tag up and go to third, and it was Blanton against Casey Kotzman, and Blanton got the looking third strike on Kotzman for out number 2. Then Izturis was the hitter, and sometimes you make a good pitch and you don't get the payoff.
Here's the pause, the 1-1. Swung on and flew short center field. Scudero going out, coming on Payton, and the ball drops. Erstad scores. Izturis going to second. A race to the bag. He dives, he collides, and he's tagged out by Jay Payton, who ran in from center field, kept the baseball. Nobody was covering second. Payton was diving into second as Izturis was trying to stretch it. He was diving into second. The run scores on the bloop into center field, but because Ellis and Scudero were both going out, second base was vacant, and what an alert play by Jay Payton, denying Izturis the opportunity to move up as Payton actually went sliding his way towards second base, and sliding with his leg, his right leg able to block Izturis from getting to the bag, and that's how Jay Payton, falling over Izturis, was able to make the tag on Izturis. Remarkable play. But the Angels get 2 runs in the 4th inning. And after 4 complete, Angels 2, A's nothing.
From that point on, Blanton was virtually untouchable, the only exception being a 2-out double by Cabrera to the off field in the 5th inning, just a little kind of a squirt off the end of the bat inside first base. Blanton retired 12 of the last 13, and all of the last 10 who faced him through his 8-inning complete game effort tonight. But the A's still weren't able to break through John Lackey. They had a shot in the 6th inning when he hit Mark Ellis to start the inning. With 1 out, he walked Dan Johnson, struck out Payton, and with 2 out, Scott Hatterberg kept the Hopes for the inning alive. Cabrera creeping up behind the runner at second, Ellis. Now the pitch. A one-hopper off of Lackey, off his glove. He falls down. It's picked up by Cabrera. He has no play, and the bases are loaded. A comebacker, and Lackey didn't get it in the pocket of the glove. He stumbled forward and tumbled to the grass. The ball bounced out toward second where Cabrera retrieved it, realized he had no play, and the A's have him full now for Kelty with 2 outs in the 6th inning of a 2-0 game led by the Angels.
Another pitcher falling off the rubber toward the first base side and not getting himself into good fielding position. Tried to reach back behind him. Actually, if he lets the ball go, Cabrera makes the play.
And with memories of Kelty's home run last night off the fastball, he saw a lot of breaking pitches as the two dueled to a 3-2 count. So, a defining moment here as Brendan Donnelly is up throwing in the bullpen, and John Lackey tries to get out of this bases-loaded jam as Blanton did for the A's in the first. Here it is. Ground ball right to Adam Kennedy at second base. Throw to first, and the inning is over, and the A's leave them full. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-0 Angels. And Lackey threw him a fastball on that 3-2, but it was away, and it ended the inning and the threat. The A's had to settle for the 1, and I shouldn't say 1. They settled for none. They did settle for 1 in the 8th inning, and that's when, with 1 out, Eric Chavez reached the defining moment in his career.
Here's the pitch to Chavez, and he gets a line drive to right center for a base hit. Up to get it is Guerrero, and that's Eric Chavez' career hit number 1,000, amazingly, in his 1,000th game with the Athletics.
With 2 out, Jay Payton came up, having struck out the first 3 times. This, by the way, was against reliever Scott Shields, who started the inning. Payton fought off elimination here and then singled to right field, putting runners at first and second and bringing up Scott Hatterberg. And Hatterberg, once again, was a factor in the ball game as he punched a single to left field. And so the A's found themselves on the board.
Here's the pause and the 0-2. Molina sets up away, and it's poked into left field for a base hit. Around third, Chavez. Up with the ball is Anderson. Chavez will score without a throw. Up to second goes Payton. Scott Hatterberg delivers a base hit to left field, and the A's are on the board. Top of the 8th inning, 2-1 Angels. Good hitting by Hatterberg. A fastball that ran away, and beginning the sequence, Cabrera, the shortstop, was shaded over toward the second base bag, and Hatterberg just taking a running fastball away and poking it into left field for a base hit.
And then Bobby Kelty was hit by a pitch, and suddenly Angel fans in this full house tonight must have been having second thoughts and a lot of trepidation, because the usually invulnerable bullpen of the Angels has been vulnerable in recent days, contributing to their loss of the division lead to the Athletics. Bases were full after Kelly was hit with that pitch, and Nick Swisher was the guy up there trying to make it meaningful. And that was where Swisher hit the deep fly ball to left field. Backing up at the edge of the warning track, Anderson hauled it in. So the A's could only get 1 out of that one. They had 1 more shot in the 9th inning with 2 out when Mark Ellis against K-Rod singled, put the tying run aboard, and give Chavez another shot. Crowd standing as one now, even those behind the plate, who last night couldn't stand at these moments. 1 more strike, and the Angels break the losing streak and the A's winning streak. And a throw to first. For whatever reason, I have no idea. I think sometimes a pitcher comes set and he just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And you just lob a toss to first base.
Maybe to break the tension or something?
Sometimes a second thought about what pitch has been called. Chavez trying to stay alive. 20 homers, 78 RBIs. Here it is. Swung on. There's a high drive to center. Going back on it is Figgins. He has room at the edge of the track. Makes the catch. 1 step onto the warning track in deep center field. And Eric Chavez's drive comes up short. as the Angels close to within a game of the A's, ending the Angels' losing streak at 5, the A's winning streak at 7, and setting up a rubber game tomorrow night to wrap up this series with Kennedy going against Santana as another one-run game in the books between the A's and the Angels, and it's Angels 2, A's 1. And it's Ken waiting to bring the full scoreboard.